Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. And it's great to see you all here. Please, I don't know if you can see the chat or not.
Yeah, they
Um,
can access the chat, but I have disabled the mics and cameras. I'll enable it during the end when we have the Q&A.
Good evening. You can write in the chat from where you are joining from.
Okay, this is a fun part. I really enjoy doing this, so I'll go first and type.
Okay.
Also, yeah, happy Dussehra, happy Dashami, everyone.
Yeah, happy Vijayadashami.
Oh, we have someone from Australia. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Basically, we are here from like all over India. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's great to see you. Okay, so as you all know that we are going to talk about open source today. In this session, we would mostly talk about open source, Git and GitHub, and all the open source, programs which are there, like Hacktoberfest, and there is also OSD by, Anita Bjorg. About all these programs. So, um, as you all know, for those who don't know me, my name is Oindrilla, and I'm a Beta Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, and I'm also a Google Developer Student Clubs lead at my campus. If you want to know more about me, you can, find me on LinkedIn and connect with me there. And Jasleen, would you like to introduce yourself too?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I am Justine Thondi, and I'm also one of the beta MLSAs working hard to just empower everyone with tech, which is Microsoft's motto. Other than that, I am a master's student. I'm doing my master's in data science, and I also lead the Kolkata chapter for Code Academy. For those who don't know about Code Academy, you can reach out to me. We can have a small discussion. And yeah, we have tried to keep this session very brief because we know it's a Sunday, everyone's tired, but we all also want to do something productive. So we will just take it for like 40, 45 minutes, make it really crisp so that you have the most productive 40 minutes and basically enjoy yourself. So other than that, if you have any queries, if you would like to discuss anything, you guys can reach out to us on LinkedIn or on our socials. So I'm dropping my socials in the chat. Feel free to come say hi and we'll just quickly start off with the session.
Yeah, you can also, connect with us on Twitter. So here is my Twitter handle. I hope you can see it. And you can
Yeah.
just also find me on LinkedIn. So here's the agenda for our today's session. First of all, we would discuss about Git and GitHub, and then we would talk about version control and about the different Git commands and how can we use them. And also, we would tell you what is open source and what are the different open source programs you can be a part of, and what is Hacktoberfest, which is the most important part. As you all know, that this month, October, is mainly focused on Hacktoberfest. It's very popular event, and I hope all of you know about it. So, and Jasleen will, talk about how to submit your first pull request. And, she would also show you a live demo, like how can you submit a pull request and everything. And she would also talk about OSD and her mentor experience and how can you also contribute to open source. So just let's talk about Git and GitHub. Git is mainly a version control system, and it's free and open sourced, and it's the most popular and it's widely used version control system. So I would talk about version control system in the upcoming slides. And Git is absolutely not equal to GitHub. Like Facebook is not, Facebook cannot be compared to your face. Similarly, Git cannot be compared to GitHub, though it sounds similar, but they are two different things, and I would um, talk more about it. So let's get into it. What is Git? As you can see, like many of the most popular version control systems available today, Git is free and open source. And it was, started by Linus Torvalds, the same person who created Linux. So, I'm sorry, if you know about Linus Torvalds, who has created Linux, the same person has started Git, and Git is a distributed version control system, and which is also known as DVCS. And some of the benefits of using Git are a complete long-term change history of every file, and branching and merging and traceability. Like if I just talk more about it, um, using Git, if you make any changes, the others who are also working with Git, they can also view what changes you have made. They can trace them, and maybe they can add something or reduce something and then save it and do all these things. So now let's move forward to version control system. So what is version control system, or VCS? So, version control, also known as the source control, is the practice of tracking and managing changes to software code. So, you can, track the changes which are made to the source code, and you can also, manage all these things. Like you can see who has changed what, when, um, all these things. So version control systems are software tools that help software teams manage changes to source code over time. So in your team, somebody can, manage the source code, and like this source code, these codes can be changed over time. Like maybe I have made some changes, and maybe Jasleen have made another changes, and she can also save this source code, and we can keep a track on it. So a version control software keeps track of every modification to the code in a special kind of database. So if a mistake is made, like developers can turn back to the clock and compare the earlier versions of the code and fix the mistake. Like obviously, you can always see the previous code and the code which we have changed, and you can compare the codes, and if maybe I have made a mistake, you can correct me. You can fix the code by seeing the earlier code. Version control protects source code from both, catastrophe and the casual degradation of human error. So yeah, like version control is mainly used by programmers to track our code changes, and we can save this codes into Git. And if we want to update our code, we can also do that. And we can save our code as many times as we contribute to the code. So as simple as that. Now let's talk about the various Git commands which are there. So first of all, we have git init command, which is used to initialize a repository. So this is the first thing. If you want to initialize a repository, you need to use this git init command. And then we have git add command, which is used to add files in your version control system. Okay, and Jasleen will, show you a live demo in which she will use all these commands. And there is also git commit command, which is used to commit the changes to your files. Like maybe I have changed something, or she has changed something, or anybody in our team does it. So like to make those changes, git commit command is used. And also git status, to check the status to your, to your code. You can use this git status command to check it. And git push is also used to pushing the changes into your current repository. Also there's git pull to pulling the files and the changes. And git clone is used to cloning a repository, and this is very important. Like if you are working with a repository, first of all you need to make a copy of that repository to your local computer, right? So to make that copy, you need to use this git clone command. um, and git remote add origin, this is used to add a remote repository. And there is also git checkout command to switching or creating a new branch. And git restore command is used to restoring the previous changes. So these things might look like a bit difficult, but it's not. Jasleen will show you the live demo, and you can see that it's really very simple. So now let's talk about GitHub. So what is GitHub? As I've already said, that Git and GitHub are the two different things. And like it's as Facebook is to your actual face, there is no similarity between Git and GitHub, but GitHub is designed as a Git repository hosting service. Like whatever commands you use in Git, or whatever changes you make using Git, you can search a repository on GitHub and see all these changes which are done about all these things. And it's an online database that allows you to keep track of and share your Git version control projects outside of your local computer or server. So as you all know that Git is mainly used in your local computer, and GitHub is cloud-based service. So as you can work with Git on your local computer, you can't do that with GitHub. You can just we will show you how can you sign in to GitHub and use it. So mainly GitHub is exclusively cloud based, and unlike GitHub is for profit service. Like GitHub is not absolutely free for some specific things, like if you want to make some private repositories for yourself only. So you need to have that pro version of that GitHub. So for pro version, you need to give some money to GitHub. You need to have that pro version for that. And unlike Git, it's a for-profit service. So yeah, now let's talk about some basic differences between Git and GitHub. As you can already understand, that Git is installed and maintained on your local system. As I've already told you, that you can install Git on your local computer and work with it. And in case of GitHub, GitHub is a cloud-based service, and you can't just install GitHub to your local computer. You need to, hover to that GitHub website, and you can do all these things. So Git was first developed in 2005, and okay, so one thing that really sets Git apart is that its branching model. Yeah, absolutely. So in Git, you can do all these branching and merging things, and you can share your code with others and giving them the access, you know, to make the changes or revising your code. Like in GitHub, you can collaborate with a lot of programmers. Suppose if I want to make some changes to a particular repository, maybe I want help of 10 other members, I can add them as a collaborator and they can also work with me with that same repository. So GitHub is used in all these purposes. um, Jasleen, would you like to take over this slide?
Yes, Angela, thank you so much for that wonderful explanation about the difference between the two, because that's really, really important. Because unless you know the difference between the two, you can't really work with the two. So
Absolutely.
yeah, this is just a small meme that in case of a fire, never forget to push your code, because if you haven't pushed your code, all your work will be gone. So one of the benefits, like Arindra mentioned, is that you can work remotely, you can work in different parts of the world using GitHub and Git. And yeah, there are different versions of your work that is being maintained. So there's no question of your code being lost, but yes, you have to actually commit it and push it for it to be on the cloud so that it's safe and secure, irrespective of hardware issues, any other issues that you might face. So it's always safe to commit your code first. Okay, I'll just take control. 1 second. Yeah. So the next slide over here, as you can see, it's telling us about the 3 stages that involves in GitHub, like to make your first pull request or to make, for example, any pull request or any commit, you have to be familiar with the 3 stages. So to simplify this, I'll explain this in a very, very layman way for those who are not at all familiar with GitHub. So the working directory is nothing but your own computer, your own files, your own folders that you have. The staging area also happens. The staging area is basically a place in the cloud where it goes on to the staging area and it waits for your confirmation that, okay, I am okay with this code. It should go into the final file. And the repository is the folder that we find on our GitHub profile. So I'll be sharing my screen now while to show you what GitHub looks like and what my profile looks like and what are repositories. But repositories, in simple words, are nothing but folders. So that's all you need to retain in order to understand this really well. So working directory is nothing but your own computer or your folders. Staging area is where you add your changes, that these are the files I want to add, these are the changes I want to add, and then you commit it. Commit is nothing but adding it to the repository. So commit and push work together to publish your changes or you publish your code, right? So moving on to the next one, we have open source here. So maybe Angela, you want to take up this slide and I'll continue off with the live demo.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about open source and what are the different, open source programs. So open source is a term that was, originally referred to as open source software. So this open source software is released under the license and like in which there's a copyright holder and the copyright holder grants users can have this rights to study and make changes and maybe distribute it to anyone and the source code is mainly in the human readable code, like anyone can read the source code and modify it, and open source software is developed for collaboration and open source software can be used to create great products and services, like you can work with a team and create great repositories to help others and do all these things. And open source initiative is a public benefit corporation that provides the usage of open source software. And this public source initiative corporation have also published a definition of open source, and which is also known as the open source definition. So open source definition is mainly a document which determines whether a software license can be labeled with the open source contribution mark or not. So this is about it. And there are a lot of open source programs, as you can see, like there is Hacktoberfest. We will talk about it. And there is also Google Summer of Code, which is a very popular program. Um, by Google, and there is also Google Summer of Dogs or Season of Dogs. It's not mandatory that you only need to contribute to code. Like you can contribute to anything. You can contribute to documentation or video files or anything. So Google Season of Dogs is mainly for contributing in documentation, because documentation is very important for any project. And there is also Open Source Day, and Jasleen will talk about it. And there is also Outreachy, and there is also Julia Seasons of Contribution. And one more thing, there is Girl Script Summer of Code or Girl Script Winter of Contribution. This is also very popular. And Data One and 24 pull requests. So these are the different kind of programs which you can be a part of. You just need to apply when the form comes out, and you can be a part of these programs and contribute to open source. Okay, so what is Hacktoberfest? So Hacktoberfest, in its 8th year, um, and it's the most long celebration of open source software run by DigitalOcean and Intel. This entire month, we contribute to Hacktoberfest in this month of October, and we invite you to join this open source program. And I would really encourage you to register for Hacktoberfest. Just you need to search Hacktoberfest 2021, and you can register to this program and contribute. So you can contribute, um, you know you can make pull request, or maybe you can help others. You can help others to review their code, or you can also mentor others and do all these things. And if you have already participated in Hacktoberfest, if you have made all the 4 pull requests, you can maybe plant a tree. There is an option for t-shirt or tree, so you can choose planting a tree, or maybe you can choose the t-shirt option also for swags. And yeah, here's a little bit of description of my participants and my experience. So I have participated in Hacktoberfest you know in previous year, and this is the swag which I've got, like a t-shirt and all these stickers. And I have also got selected at Girls Trip Summer of Code, and I have also contributed there, and it was a very nice program. I would surely encourage you to be a part of it. And there is also Girls Trip Winter of Contributing, and I have been a supervisor to this program. So yeah, I would surely encourage you to be a part of all these programs and explore and learn, like how can you contribute, and how can you collaborate and build great things together. So I would encourage Jasleen to take up from here.
Yes. So far, Angela has covered all about, what's the hype, why should we do it, why is it so much fun, what's the use. Now we'll actually see how to do it because that's the main part, right? How should we get started? How should we do it? So there was a question in the chat that what if I'm a beginner? So these events, first of all, are to encourage beginners to join the world of open source, to get familiar, to get into it. So most of the tasks and most of these programs initially have very basic tasks, or they have mentors. So mentors are always there to help you. Like Angela said, she was a mentor, so was I in one of the events. So that's what a mentor does. Basically, they handhold you throughout the entire experience, and it makes your job easier because they want you to learn, right? So without any hesitance, next time you see a program like this, do apply, because you should be assured that there will be resources provided to you to learn, to grow. And okay, how many days an hour should I contribute for receiving a certificate? So for Hacktoberfest, you have to submit at least 4 of your pull requests should get approved. So once they get approved, you are eligible for your swag, or they don't have a certificate as such. They provide swags or the tree. So you have to have 4 of your pull requests merged. So I'll explain what is a pull request and how it gets merged. So without further ado, maybe Angela, you can stop sharing. I'll start sharing my screen.
Yeah,
We
sure.
can come.
Start.
Yeah, we can
Yes.
come back to the presentation in a while. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Okay, awesome. So for those who don't know what GitHub looks like, it basically looks like this. This is github.com, and this is my profile on GitHub. So just a very small deviation from the topic, why should we have an account? It basically highlights all your project works and all the things that you're doing, right? So when you actually apply for a job or an internship or any kind of programs or projects, this is basically a virtual portfolio of what you are doing, what you have done. So it's really good to have a GitHub account, especially if you want to even apply for remote jobs, if you want to apply to other programs, it's really, really good. So as you can see, these are my mark reports. I have made my open source contribution to VS Code. I have worked on Open Source Day. I've also been in GitHub graduation. I have also published a book. So you can basically publish all of it over here for the world to see. So they can take a look at what you are doing, what you have achieved, and this is something called a README. So it basically describes what you do, who you are, what you work with. So similarly, you can also follow people just like LinkedIn or Facebook. Really helpful because you can follow great people on here. You can follow popular repositories here. I mean, this is the original Microsoft repository. They have hosted the entire code over here. So I mean, there's a lot to learn. And there are a lot of free resources on GitHub as well. And like Hariket pointed out, if you have a university email ID, you can also claim your student developer pack. So that's really helpful because it has a subscription to a lot of free courses. And as you know, GitHub is also under Microsoft now. So you can also, there is also a program called the GitHub Student Expert Program, which you can apply to as well. Now, coming back to Hacktoberfest and GitHub, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply show you, for example, I am a participant and I want to contribute to Hacktoberfest. So what am I going to do? So you make an account, you come to this page, and you come and type Hacktoberfest over here. Okay, so it just click here, and we're going to click on see topic, or we can also see that, okay, there are 83534 repositories. Like I said, repositories are nothing but folders. So to contribute to Hacktoberfest, they should have the Hacktoberfest label. So you can see, right? They have the Hacktoberfest label over here. And let's take maybe this one and see what it says. So this is basically, as you can see, a collection of folders. A lot of things are here. So we're going to just quickly go and see the README. So as Angela pointed out, for Hacktoberfest, you have to make certain requests and pull requests. So pull requests are nothing but your submission, right? So this is obviously the main folder. And as you know, if you're working on anything, you never work on the main folder first. You work on your end and then you make a submission, be it a Google form, be it a school project, anything like that, right? So that's what we're going to apply here as well. So as you can see, for Hacktoberfest specifically, you have to make 4 pull requests for 4 different projects, but one project is excluded, then your pull request will not be counted. So if I go to show you hacktoberfest.com, the site looks something like this. So over here, since I have registered, it's going to show my profile and it's going to show whether I've made any contributions or not. So to get all, see, like it says 0 completed, 0 in progress because I haven't started yet. So you have to get at least 4 of these contributions merged. I have submitted one, but it hasn't been accepted yet, right? So to achieve the whole concept of Hacktoberfest, you have to make at least 4 of them. That's the rule. Now coming to how to do it, right? So it happens every year. Again, if you don't want to participate this year, there's always next time. And as you can see, most of the repositories have these instructions and rules, what to do, how to do. So this is the simplest explanation. Fork the repo, edit it, add your name and GitHub profile, make a pull request, right? So we're going to try to do exactly this, and I'm going to do it with my end. So over here, as you can see, this is the code window. This is the issues window. Now, issues can be anything they want added to their website, to the project. For example, this is not a web-based project, but if it was a website, someone might request a footer to be added or a header to be added or the logo to be changed. So this is where they will raise the issue. They'll list it out for you that, okay, this is something we want to get done for our project. Okay, my internet is a bit shoddy. Just a second. Yeah. So they're going to list out what they want to get done in this issues tab. I guess this repository
Okay, maybe Jasleen is facing some issues. She's joining again. Just wait for a few minutes. She will join again.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah,
about that. My internet went off for a bit.
yeah, no
Uh,
problem. You can start over.
yeah, just a second. I'll just start sharing my screen again. Can you confirm, Angela, till what part I was audible?
Yeah, you have shared about Hacktoberfest and what changes someone can make.
Okay, okay, great. Awesome. So I hope the recording has resumed, right? You can see it, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we will share the recording with you all.
Okay. Uh, just a second, Angela. I'll just quickly be back.
Yeah, okay. Your screen is visible now.
Yeah, so I'll just keep my video off so that my internet does not interrupt. Yeah. Okay, so back to issues, right? We will check out what the issues the project maintainer has listed over here. So just give it a second to load. Okay, I think there is some issue with this repo itself. Let's pick up a different one. Hi Angela, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible, but I can't see your screen right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
it actually started raining in my area, so that's why the internet is coming and going. So I just switched my network.
okay. So
Yeah,
maybe you
I
can
hope.
screen.
Yeah, it's visible now, right?
Uh, no, I can't see your screen right now.
Okay, maybe it's loading. Just give it a second because
Yeah,
I
maybe it
shared
is.
it. Visible?
Not yet. Anybody, can you see Jasleen's screen? Maybe you can type in the chat. Yeah, it's visible now. I can see it.
Okay, great, great, great. Yeah, so as I was talking about the issue, so if anyone wants any contributions done in the project, they will come to the issues tab and mention the sounds, etc., etc. But like I said, if we want to do it for the Hacktoberfest, we want to contribute to an issue that will be counted in the Hacktoberfest, right? So we're gonna opt for a different repo. So let's go back to the main screen, right? And we're gonna quickly talk about, yeah. So when we search for it, let's maybe go for this repo. So this is a smaller one. Okay, it has been archived. Just a second. Or let's go one that I've already worked on so that there's no conflict like that it's not working. Okay. So this, as you can see, it says Oktoberfest 2021 for beginners, right? So it has everything described, what to do, what to put, So now as a user, we're going to try to replicate the contribution steps. So the first thing first, this is the name of the project, Hacktoberfest 2021, and Shruti is the maintainer. So to work on this, we're going to fork this repo. So if we click on fork, it's going to tell me it is already forked, but by forking, it will make a copy of it into your GitHub profile. So I'm going to head over to my copy. So my copy will obviously have my name and my username, which looks like this, right? Hacktoberfest 2021 Beginners Edition, right? So over here, this is my main branch, and I will make any sort of commits or work over here. So instead of doing on the same one, this is just for demo purposes. So what we can do is we have two options. We can either use the Git Bash or we can use GitHub Desktop. So for this one, we will try to use GitHub Desktop, right? So let's go back to the Hacktoberfest topics and take a repo that hasn't been forked before, right? So I'm gonna type Hacktoberfest over here once again, and I'm gonna click on see topic, and I'm gonna maybe pick something over here. Maybe let's go with public APIs. We're gonna pick this. So now to contribute here, first what you have to do is you have to comment on any one of the issues that you want to take. So as you can see, it has the Hacktoberfest good issue tag. So to comment, you have to just click here and go comment that, okay, I want to work on this. Please assign it to me. And once it has been assigned to you, you can start working on it, right? You can see so many people have worked on this. Make sure you read the contribution guide, etc., etc. So we will go back to the code part and we're just gonna fork the repo. Fork is nothing but copy to your own end. So if I click on fork over here, it's asking where do you want to fork it. I'm going to choose my account and it's going to fork the repo and create a copy in my end. And it is saying this branch is even with public APIs master. So it is completely up to date. So any new changes, GitHub is going to tell us that, okay, this is a new change that you have to work on. Now, I'm going to talk about GitHub Desktop because it is literally life-saving. The commands that Rajendra showed you earlier, you do not have to memorize all of that if you're using GitHub Desktop. So while it opens up, I'm going to show you what we can do with this. As you can see, the last thing that I was working on has been tracked over here. This is what it looks like. Now I want to clone. Clone again means copy because now we have copied the project from one GitHub to another. Now from my personal GitHub, it has to come to my computer so that I can work on it, right? So what we will do is we're gonna go to file and we're gonna say we want to clone a repository. So now it's gonna ask me which one do you want to clone. So we used public APIs, right? So we're gonna quickly go to public APIs and click on clone. And it is cloning it for us. We did not have to type git clone and the entire link. It is doing it for us automatically. Now the next step would be to make our changes and to add it in the file. So as you can see, from Hacktoberfest Beginners, it has become public APIs. Now we will click, you can either open it in VS Code, the entire project, or we can open the file. Where is it? And or we can open it directly on GitHub. So we're going to click on Show in Explorer because we're not making any major changes right now because of time constraints. But we're going to make a small change and then maybe, do something else with it. So I'm just going to create a very simple notepad file. And maybe just, call it Hello World. And I'm just going to open it and add Hello World in it again and save it, right? So this is a change that I've made to the original folder of owner by public APIs. I made a copy of it on my GitHub and then I made a copy of it on my desktop and then I added a file. Now what will happen if I go back to GitHub Desktop? It refreshed and it's telling me, okay, you made this addition to this folder which is not there in the original owner folder, and that is our goal. So what we have done is we have picked an issue, we have forked the repo, we have cloned the repo, and the next thing that we're doing is we are doing our contribution. So this hello world txt file is nothing but our contribution. Now over here that you see, This is what is known as a commit message. Now, to explain commit messages, the messages that you can see over here, ignore GitHub, remove unnecessary verification, these are called commit messages. And why are these important? These are important so that looking at this command itself, a person or a developer can understand what has been added or what has been changed in the said file, right? So coming back here, and commit messages should be meaningful. So it is already prompting us that write create hello world.txt because that is what we have done. So we're gonna type create hello world. Okay, there's a space, so let's be careful of that. And then if you want to write anything else, you can also write. So for example, I'll write this is a demo for Oktoberfest 2021. And then I'm gonna commit it to my branch which is on my GitHub, right? And I have done it. And it's gonna then ask me for the last step. Do you want to push your commits to your origin remote? So origin remote is nothing but on what place I am working, which is nothing but my personal GitHub. So if I push it, it should reflect on my personal GitHub, which we will see in a while. So now if once this is done, okay, this is done. Now we can go back to GitHub, hit refresh, and see, it's telling one commit ahead because what we did, we added the hello world.txt file, right? 29 seconds ago. Now, if I click on contribute, it's asking me, since you have made a change, do you want to make a pull request? And I click on open pull request. Because this is my contribution, right? This is what I want to contribute to the repo for Oktoberfest. And if I click on create pull request, it's gonna ask me, okay, do you want to give this header? Yes. This is the thing that you want to write. Yes. And yeah, it's done. And once you click on this, the pull request will be created. And then one of the maintainers of the project will review that whether your contribution is meaningful or not. And if they find it all great, they're gonna accept it. And that's how you make your first contribution. Are there any questions so far, Angela, about this? Any questions in the chat that I should know?
No, there's no questions till now.
Okay,
Maybe
so
if you have any questions, you can type in the chat.
yeah. Meanwhile, you can share the PPT again.
Okay, I can see someone have a question. So you can
Yeah,
ask by typing or you can unmute your mic and ask.
yeah, I'll just give them the unmuting permission.
Hello, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't have any experience in a programming or any as a developer or as a software engineer. But if I want to
Mhm.
contribute to Hacktoberfest, as you are explaining, I learned Git and GitHub using by watching YouTube videos.
Mhm.
If I go there and if I want to contribute to myself as having no background of what is program and things like that, can I still make it to achieve my contribution by
Yeah,
pulling the request? Or
you can, but then initially you'll have to pick simpler issues. For example, any documentary related issues or something that is very, beginner friendly. Don't go for bugs and fixes. Go for something simple. And like I demonstrated, if you go and type it on the project, right, that I am interested to work on this issue, the maintainer will first assign the issue to you. And if you feel you're comfortable in that, then only go and comment. And then, yeah, you can contribute using that issue.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that. If you're a beginner, you don't need to worry. You can always contribute to open source. And, if you join these various programs, there are different Slack channels there. You can ask your questions there, and maybe, yeah, they would suggest you if they want to assign any beginner friendly issues to you, they would suggest to you there. And yeah, just one suggestion, so don't DM anyone personally without their permission. Just ask whatever questions you have in the official Slack channels of these programs, and they would assist you. I hope
Yeah.
this answers your doubt.
thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you very
welcome.
much.
Yeah, Andrila, maybe you can reshare your screen. We have another 10 minutes left, so we'll just quickly wrap up.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, Andrila, we can.
Okay, okay. So, you
Yeah,
have
I'll
this.
just navigate it to after the demo slide. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
Okay, I think you have shown how to make your first pull request. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So, like Angela talked about the Hacktoberfest program, there is another great initiative by Anita B. Org. It's called OSD, or the Open Source Day. So it is basically like Hacktoberfest is a month-long program. OSDs are usually 1 day long, so it's an all-day hackathon, including workshops. So in these workshops, they basically teach you Git, GitHub, everything related to open source, how you can contribute, etc. So best thing to get started would be one of the OSD programs if you feel, doing Hacktoberfest on your own is daunting. So these programs happen twice a year, once in the summer and once at the virtual Grace Hopper organization, celebration parties. So if you want to contribute, you can definitely go onto their website and subscribe to their updates. And whenever the next OSD is happening, you can always sign up. And like I said, all projects have mentors assigned. So like Viras, he has this doubt that, he's a newbie and he doesn't know what to do. So these programs have mentors who will, even get on a Zoom call and guide you one on one through every step. So that is why it's a great place to get started. And they also, send vouchers and coupons and lots of gifts and certificates to their participants. They're really supportive, really great. And I have been a mentor and participant at both of them for OSD. So in OSD, like as a participant, I contributed to the Microsoft VS Code repo, which I showed you on my GitHub. So again, I was completely, not familiar with high scale, advanced, contributions, and I was really panicking. But like I said, there were mentors directly who were working on VS Code project at Microsoft. One was from Canada, one was from Seattle. So we had a proper setup party. They helped me install the entire VS Code project locally on my computer. And then on the day of the coding, they were online from 9 to 5 their time. So that was something around 5:30 a.m. till 5:30 a.m. Indian time, and they were online and they helped most of us through every step, what we are supposed to do, how we are supposed to run the project locally, add our contribution, make the pull request. And finally, yeah, one of my pull requests did get merged with Microsoft VS Code Python repo, which soon enough gave me the confidence to contribute as a mentor. So at the VGHC that happened this month of October, which is a week-long celebration for women in tech, which is again organized by Anita B. Org. I was the mentor for Project ROI. ROI is basically a cloud-based interface that is basically used to simplify database operations. So it is hosted by a company in Australia. It's a startup. Again, great networking opportunity. Got to meet a lot of great people. Got mentored by a lot of great people. Mentored great people. So it was a great opportunity overall. And you make priceless connections in events like this. And I was happy that just like I was so scared when I was participating, I was able to help someone navigate through open source and help make them first contribution. So that was a really great part about being a mentor at VGHC OSD. So basically, OSDs are run, as far as I know, they're run twice a year for now. But if I get any updates about, them being held multiple times in a year, I'll always let you guys know. So it's a great program, in short. So do have, your eye out for OSD the next time it's happening. And like, yeah, so you can contribute either by project, you can contribute by making your pull request, or you can also contribute by becoming a mentor like me. So I'd suggest, going through a few programs first and then contributing as a mentor, because as a mentor, you're responsible for other people, right? So it's better to, navigate yourself first, get skilled first, and then make your own mentorship experience really memorable. So that's all about OSD from my end. And thank you everyone for sticking around for 1 hour. I know it seems so daunting online, but you guys still did it. So I'm really, really glad that you guys stuck around till the end, and I hope the session was helpful. We're open for Q&As now. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute.
Yeah, I can see a question. Okay, so you don't need to fill any feedback form, but Jasleen, will we send
Yep.
them any feedback form or something? I don't
I don't
know.
think there is a need.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone who is attending will get an e-certificate, so you don't need to worry about filling any feedback form. But
Yeah,
if
we've
you
downloaded the attendance, so it's all good.
Yeah, but if you get any form, I don't know if you are, logging in from Google Developer Student Club's chapter. If you are doing that, maybe you need to fill a form, but it's not mandatory for getting a certificate. You will get a certificate anyway.
Yeah. If there are any other questions,
Or maybe we can take a picture together.
yes, sure, and just
So I would request everyone to, you know, turn your cameras on.
yeah. I hope my internet lets me do that. Yeah, maybe we can stop presenting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just a second.
Maybe you can stop sharing the screen and there is together mode.
Yeah, I'll open together. It's just the two of us.
Okay. Maybe you can change this background.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Waiting for others to join in. You can also, share this picture on your socials and tag us. We would happy to see you posting.
Yeah, I'll also stop recording since the session is over. If you guys want a recording, you can, send us an email and we'll make it available. Yeah, I'll enable the cameras. Just a second.